Champagne Dream Seduction branch office, it just spun around again. And so I think it's going to do that thing where the volume is going to go in and out. You'll have to let me know how it goes. I have been trying to prime these foundations. This Glisten foundation bottle is so. It's one of those airless pumps, and it just does not want to do the thing. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what is happening. That it does not want to connect. I've tried to like open it and rescrew it, and I just have been working on these for like I was watching Dion's live, and for a full like 15 minutes, I just sat there and tried to prime these pumps. So we're gonna try. Hello, welcome. My name is Janessa J. Champagne, and I'm North Dakota's trash queen of glam, geek, and gore. And today we are going to try to do a colorful foundation look. Hello, Janet. How's it going? We are going to try to do an orange look. Today is orange, so I do have two Glisten Cosmetics foundations. This is their orange and their light orange. Pastel orange, they call it. It's pastel orange. And then we also have Indie Beat Face Base in orange. Now it looks like the Glisten is a little bit, hello Mama Champagne. It looks like the Glisten is a little bit darker. This one's a little bit more kind of in the middle, and then we have the pastel. Now, the Indie Beat and the Sunset Makeup, I can always get these to start working. This one I did get a little bit to squeeze out, so we'll see if this continues to work. I am still struggling to get this one to just start, to just give me any product at all. I don't know if I'll have to try to open it and just try to shake it out. Hello, Grace. How's it going? But we are going to do an orange look. I do also have an orange setting powder from Glisten, the Spectra set. So we are going to do an orange look. We're going to be orange. And not just that shade of Pat McGrath foundation orange that I bought the wrong shade because Sephora had it marked wrong. We'll have actual orange. So let me know while we're getting started with this, if you want to let me know what color eye look should I do? Should I try to do kind of like an orange, red, yellow and keep it kind of in the realm of like fiery, warm sort of colors? Or should I was thinking purple could be fun, could be a fun contrast with orange. I swear, this foundation is going to drive me. I'm going to have to write to them and just be like, here's the deal. I love your foundations. I've been using your foundations. I have a ton of them. I love them. These bottles are a nightmare. These bottles are a freaking nightmare. And I would love it if you could stop using these. If you could. And also, like, I don't know if you can see, but like there's a ridge. So like there's only a small little spot for your finger to go anyway. So you have to kind of do it straight down, or else you keep hitting that ridge, and that ridge is like super uncomfortable. And so when you're trying to like pump it a lot because you can't get the damn thing to start working, then your finger is always like, oh, finally. Because now I'm shooting orange foundation all over my desk. Okay, it finally worked. But you're kind of like having to like work around this weird ridge. Like the packaging is just not well designed. It looks like now we have some. Hello, Terrence Clark. Welcome. Nice to see you. Hello, hello. Yeah, hopefully I didn't miss anybody. Oh, I should change it to all chat. There we go. And let me know if you're having the weird audio thing where the audio goes in and out again. It like loaded up and then it did the circle again. So if it's doing that again, just know that that's what it is. And it'll go for a while and it may stop on its own later like it did last time. We shall see. So I'm going to go back into my big bag of very disposable sponges and grab a few things out. Hello, hello. Yes, so we are going to, let's see if we can get some, oh yeah, now we're getting some of that orange. Oh, then it starts spitting, but I got a good pile of orange before it started spinning, and before it started spitting, but then now it seems like it's engaged. So hello, Nina, how's it going? So it seems like sometimes we just have to get it to start, and then it'll go, but it's getting it started. A beige eye, but I know you want, yeah, I don't know that I would do a beige eye. I think because this is going to have a certain amount of depth to it, I think that if we do too beigey. I mean, maybe there could be some brown in there. We'll see. Yeah, I don't really do basic beige brown looks very often. And here we go again. So once again, like we saw last time, if you were here for the green, this first one is going on nice and smooth. It is looking a little bit patchy, but that's because it is looking a little bit skin-like. And so it's trying to not be, full on just like face paint. It's trying to put down this nice kind of orange pigment and keep it very skin-like. So I don't hate that because I know that it does build up pretty well. I think we only had to do 2 coats of the green last time. I don't think we did a 3rd coat. I don't remember. People saying hello, hello. I love that. All right, so there is. And I think that what we'll do is I'm doing a whole layer of the orange from Glisten because that's the darkest one. And then what I think I'm going to do is we will do a second layer of this Glisten around the edge of the face, and then I'll probably bring in some of that indie beat and do some of that more in the center of the face since that's lighter. I'm noticing the voice fluctuation, also being a smart at doing the audio thing, but I can manage. Okay. Yeah, hopefully, let me see. I don't know. I think I've got my volume all the way up. I don't know what that is all about. YouTube is always doing some shenanigans. I don't know. It goes through phases where it'll be different problems at different times. So I'm hoping this particular problem doesn't last that long. I'm hoping that the volume wonkiness knocks it off pretty quickly. I would love it. So yes, sorry about that. The volume is going to go in and out. Ugh. This is, I don't know what I look like. I started to think like a sunburn, like some sort of sunburn, but it's not even the right color for a sunburn. It's a very strange orange color, but I like it. And I'm already a lot of this is kind of setting, and I'm already kind of going over it. It is kind of unofficially a second layer, but oh, let's see. Of course, I've got the alerts down, but people are messaging me. Okay. Just checking to see what kind of messages I'm getting because, as per usual, no one wants to talk to me until I'm on live. Once it's inconvenient, then everybody is like, we should look up Janessa and see what she's up to. For the many, many hours of the day where I'm not on live stream, everybody's like, Janessa who? Janessa what? Janessa where? Hello. Yeah, it's very pumpkiny. We could do like a jack-o'-lantern. We could do like a smoky eye. We could do it kind of Halloween. Um, I'm doing drag brunch and bingo at the Empire Theater on July 25th. And so Kathy, the the artistic director, she was like, "Could you film like a short thing the next time you do a face for YouTube?" And I was like, "I can. I certainly can. Can I film a little promo? Absolutely, I can. Just so you know, I'm going to be bright orange." So I'm just warning you in advance because that's the next face that I'm painting is when I'm going to be bright orange. So we'll see if she noticed that in the response back or if she will be surprised when this pumpkin head shows up in her mailbox. Oh, but I do like it. I like this kind of yellow or this kind of orangey. It's a very yellowy orange. I like it. Just kind of trying to get, I know it's just like technically the first layer, but I'm just trying to get, I hate it when it looks patchy and I know that I'm going to fix it, but I still just can't like stop myself from going over it. All right, let me set this to the side for now. I'm not going to throw it away yet. But I do also have, I think I'm going to use a dark lip liner. I'll maybe use that chai lip liner that I got as part of the Pam Anderson lip combo dupe that Aaron Parson was talking about. I'll probably use that dark brown liner. But then lately, I don't know, every once in a while, I just decide to buy myself like a cheap ass lipstick from Amazon because they'll have these lipsticks that are just like no name white label brands, but the pictures will look so good. And sometimes they're kind of good, sometimes they're not, but they're like $5-6. And I did get this kind of like corally gold. Now I think it's too light. I don't want it to look like an orange skin version of like concealer lips. So I think I want to have a dark lip line, but I'm excited to kind of, I think that could be fun. No matter what the eye look is, I think we'll probably use this lipstick to kind of give some bright corally orange kind of sparkle. So this is our first layer. It's also got a little bit of shine to it. Now the lights, I'm having such a struggle. I've got two little like LED panel lights on either side, and one of them just keeps going out. And this one, like, it stayed out. And so I unplugged it and the plug was hot. Once again, I'm going to get on my soapbox where I'm going to say that if you sell electronics that are a USB connector and they need a specific type of plug to plug in effectively and work and safely and all that kind of stuff, you should be required by law to include one of those plugs in the box. I'm so tired of everything you buy now. Nothing has a plug. It's just a fucking USB port, and they don't come with the plug. And the plugs allegedly are all the same, but they're not the same because sometimes if I'm like traveling somewhere and I just buy a cheap gas station plug, it charges differently, it lights up lights differently. I'm so mad about it. I'm so mad about it all the time. We had a pumpkin look from Dion's channel yesterday. You guys are coordinating for sure, intentional or not. Yes, hitting us with the one too. Yes, this is very much in line with the pumpkin scarecrow look from yesterday that Dion did. And thank you, Nina. Don't forget to like. We would appreciate it. We love it. Don't forget to give us that like while you're here. So yeah, so this is the first one. It's a little, and I think it looks, sometimes I think when I'm looking into the camera, I think it looks more patchy, but I think it's just that there's a shine to it. Because when I look down into my mirror, it is a much more even. Why am I orange? So we're doing colorful foundation looks. Every Wednesday in July is Wacky Wednesday, and we're doing a different sort of orange, a different orange look, a different colorful foundation look. Last week was green. This week is orange. Next week is red. The week after is metallic gold. And then the last, because there are 5 Wednesdays in July, I decided to go wild and do a pastel ombre. So I'm very excited. We're going to do kind of a pastel rainbow on the last Wednesday of the month, which I think is like the 29th. I'm very excited for that. Trump? No, not Trump. Definitely not. If anything, it would be a Trump voodoo doll, but I don't want to stab myself with pins, so we'll keep that limited. So now I'm going to go with a little bit of the Indie Beat face bake. Indie Beat seems to be, there was notification on their website at one point that they were in a transition because I know she was trying to sell the brand. I don't, now it just seems to kind of be gone. So I don't know if they're coming back, but I do have some of their foundation. Now you can see this is a little bit lighter. So I'm going to keep this probably more in the center of the face. And this one is always much easier to get the pump to engage. It's probably going to take a little bit because I got to, but I can feel the pump moving already. So there we go. So let's get a nice pile of that. And then we've got this, and let's go ahead. So yeah, you can see that that's already a bit lighter. And so we're going to kind of blend that over top. In the center of the face. And kind of lighten that up and blend it into the other orange. And that'll help give us already some natural contour. Hello, Tanya. Welcome. Sometimes I don't know why it doesn't give the notifications. I don't know why it doesn't want to tell people that we're going live. If people come to your lives and they attend them, why would you not send them notifications if they're signed up for notifications? Like YouTube always is trying to act like they know better about what we want to watch and don't want to watch. And it's like, well, if you paid attention to what I do watch, you would know what to send me notifications for. Why are you sending me notifications for all the shit that I don't watch? And then that's the worst because then, so they try to get you to sign up for things. Um, yeah, YouTube is always on its BS. Absolutely. It's YouTube. Um, then when it's always like trying to get you to subscribe, but then once you subscribe, it stops sending you notifications. So what is the end game here? What is like YouTube trying to do if they're trying to push you to like subscribe to more channels, but then it doesn't recommend the channels it gets you to subscribe to? Like, they're trying to get you to watch more and be on the platform more, but if they recommend a new channel and you like it and you start watching it, wouldn't that tell YouTube like they're going to stay on the platform longer if we recommend more content from that person? Like, why is it that once you subscribe, this happens to me all the time. Once I subscribe to a new channel, I'll maybe get one or two more recommendations, and usually I watch them, but then that channel like disappears from my recommends. It makes absolutely no sense to me. I do not understand it. I do not get it. I do not get the point. Ooh, I'm already kind of liking this orange blend. Although as it gets a little bit lighter, it does get a little bit closer and closer to Trump all the time. Hello, Tina Jones. Did Tina Jones make it in and I missed it? Stuff was moving. Oh, hello, Tina Jones. You were back a little bit. And Erky boy, you look American. I am American. Not entirely proud of that, but I am. It is a fact. Not something I'm bragging about at the moment, but. And I think most people get this. I think most international people get this. That, like, our president does not represent all of us. Like, obviously, the cult is out there and very loud and very vocal, but that doesn't mean, I mean, so many like polls and everything show that the majority of Americans don't agree with a lot of what's going on and don't express those things. But what are we supposed to do? Like, what are we supposed to do? Like, we have limited power in this scenario to effect change. So we try to go along. We try to be as engaged as we can stand to be, as we have the mental energy to be, and just try to find our joy in our lives and help where we can. So that's what we do. I read the fine print on doing those promote your channel or hyping a channel. They don't count the new subscribers or the watch hours towards your monetary goal during the hype or promotion time. Hello, Dion. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for stopping in. I know you'll catch it later for what you missed while you're out and about. Hello, 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 LSM. Argentine. Oh, that's, I think, soccer. I heard something about people don't like the Argentina team. We're not going to have that kind of nonsense going on. I'm so sorry. So sorry. Hello. So Dion's saying hello to people, which is crazy because I know you got to pay for the promote. Not sure about the hype. Hype, you don't have to pay. Hype is only when you're on your mobile, I believe, and you get a certain amount of hype points or a certain number of videos that you can hype per week, per month, something like that. That does not cost you money unless there's a way to like get more, that you can get more points or more times to hype or whatever. But you can hype for free on your mobile device a certain number of times in a certain amount of time, but I don't know what it is. I think I've done it one more time. I think I've done it one time. I don't know why I said one more time. One more time. I was having a dance flashback, apparently. So here is our orange base. Now we've got another beautiful orange. Also, I know that I use a lot of foundation, but even the amount that I pumped out, that's a lot gone from this foundation. And I know that this isn't like an everyday foundation, so obviously it's going to be for more specialized looks or whatever, but I don't know. I just feel like maybe, and maybe it's the particular, this container is looking like less, like I don't know how it compares to how much is in this one. This one is also taller, so maybe it is the same amount. Maybe it's a placebo thing or something. I feel like I'm getting less with this than I am with this. And I feel like these glisten are about the same price as I should look at the ounces. Who am I, Stephanie Nicole? Like, I just can't be bothered. Hello, Dion. People are saying hello. They only allow 3 hypes. So, okay, so it's 3 a week. I knew it was a certain number and I thought it was per week. But I couldn't remember for sure. I don't like that because I'm subscribed to multiple. Yeah, sometimes you want to hype a lot of people. You've got a lot of people you like, and then you have to pick and choose from week to week. That's kind of lame. So now let me take some of this lighter, the pastel peach, and we're going to use this kind of like the way that I use concealer. So we're going to put some under the eye. I still do the Jaclyn Hill triangle. I am a 2016 YouTuber forever. I wasn't even on YouTube in 2016, but that is my go-to. I'm gonna put some over top of the eye as well because I'll probably go in with a colored eye primer from P. Louise. So that gives me a nice little bit of I don't know why I started on the lid that time. That was not exactly the brightest thing I've ever done, but I don't know. We're just here to play. Wacky Wednesday is about play. It's about fun. Playing with these fun colors and creating really interesting, colorful, avant-garde, artsy kind of looks. That's what I'm in the mood for. I'm interested. This year is the year that we're going to play in makeup more. I'm not going to be so serious. I'm not going to stress myself out about it. We're going to have fun. If it doesn't work out, it washes off. But so far, the colorful makeup looks that I've done, I've been kind of liking them. I do kind of enjoy them. So I'm just kind of going over the edge with that other orange color just to kind of help blend it out. Are we keeping the ashy lavender? I don't mind, even though the pink is faded. I think I'm going to, the next time I go to get it cut, I think we might go back to the kind of buzz cut. So I'm probably just going to keep it like this for a little while until at some point we'll re-bleach it, but reminded me to go into the hairline with this. I got to get in there. But yeah, so I do kind of like it now that it's light and it's a little bit, but we'll see how it looks once I cut a bunch of hair off because I'm just not sure. Again, we're doing the, I got kind of a gloop there. Augustus gloop. There we go. Just got a little bit of lightness. I do like doing it like normal, but I do feel like sometimes doing that makes it look a little bit more. I don't know how to say it. I don't know what I'm thinking, but it looks less like an orange face. Like, and especially this like pastel peach almost becomes, in the camera at least, it starts to become a little bit skin tone-ish, like a weird skin tone, but like white girls who tan too much, you know what I'm saying? Like that kind of orange. It starts to get a little bit like that. How long did that last? Like 3 washes? That's how frustrating it is. It lasts about a week. Arctic Fox, I would not recommend Arctic Fox to anybody looking to do colorful hair dye because I had, out of that tube that I bought, I got about three applications, and pretty much every time I did it like on a Sunday, and by the next Sunday it was faded to this from that bright magenta. And so and then this is about where it stays because this has been about like this. Hello, Fabulous Joe. Hello. But yeah, so I don't, if you're thinking about colorful hair color, I would not recommend Arctic Fox. Now, this was like a special edition that was in Hot Topic that was, it was related to some game, Arcane, that I don't know, I don't play. So I don't know. Sometimes you know how collabs, the quality is not the same as the regular line. So I can't speak to the regular line. I don't know how good it is, but this Arcane does not make me want to try Arctic Fox again, is what's going on. So Hello, Joe saying hello. I don't recommend lime crime because it washes out so quick. I've had really good luck with lime crime, Joe. Have you not liked yours? I do find that it washes out a fair amount. Like this was intense. I usually get a good like 2 week fade when I do lime crime. This was a week. This was within a week. It was this color from that bright, rich neon. Now lime crime does have two different formulas. They have one that's meant to be more of like a pigmented, and then they have what are called tints. And so some of those they tint your hair, and they're supposed to wash out mostly in like a few washes. So I would just kind of, if you do buy lime crime, check to see whether you're getting one of the full colors or the tints, because that definitely makes a difference. But I do generally like lime crime. I've had pretty good experiences. Now, all of these kind of colorful, that's not what I wanted to do at all. All of these colorful hair dyes, they do wash out somewhat quickly, but to have it be like 1 week and it's all the way down um, to this color in a week, that I've never had that experience with another. I used to use Manic Panic a lot. I don't know if they're still good, but I did always like my results with Manic Panic. And when I worked at Hot Topic, they used to carry a brand called Raw that they don't seem to carry anymore. And that was pretty good. I don't know if Raw color is still around, but I'm gonna start getting a little bit onto my neck just because at some point I will take pictures and I'll probably put on a dress and they'll have to paint the rest of my. But for now, it'll give me like a neck color so that it looks like I'm sitting here and I really am orange. Yeah, it could be that you bought the tint, and everybody's hair is different, and how people prepare their hair is different. So I'm not saying that you didn't have that experience, and I'm not saying that that's not like legit, but I do know that that's one thing to look out for is that they do have two different formulas, and the tints do wash out pretty quickly. And I don't think they have all of them, but a lot of them they have like a version in the tint also in the full color, or they're similar. So they'll have like a teal in both, or like a blue in both that aren't exactly the same but are similar, so you can choose if you want the longer lasting. I love the Matrix dyes. I haven't tried that. Where do you get those? I went around town and all I could find was one bottle of hair dye, and I was crazy for it. I wanted to like do my hair that day. And so I had to get the color, the Arctic Fox from Hot Topic, because that's all I could find. Because our Ulta, I know that Ulta carries, I think they carry Arctic Fox. They used to carry Lime Crime. I don't think they do anymore. And but in the Grand Forks one, all they had were like brown colors, not even like blonde or redhead. Like they literally were. She was like, I don't think we have any colors that aren't brown. And I was like, well, that's not for me, but thank you. I didn't go to Sally Beauty. I should have checked Sally Beauty. I never know though. I mean, you could tell because some of it's like behind a gate or whatever. But a lot of their hair color is like professional hair colors. So you have to be like a stylist with a license. So I haven't gone to Sally because anytime I've gone there, they haven't had anything that I wanted that wasn't in the like fancy section where you'd have to have a license. I walked into a store called Box Lunch. I was told they're a sister company to Hot Topic. I did check to see if they carry dyes located in my local. Yes, Box Lunch is like a new thing that is kind of like an offshoot of Hot Topic. I don't know as much about it, but I know they carry a lot of like the anime type stuff. There's a lot of that kind of stuff. I have to get my salon owner friend to buy it. My purple lasted forever. They faded into a beautiful lilac. Yeah, thanks, Tina. I do like it. I wanted it to be pink longer. Like I think this is pretty, and I like that it fades out into like a beautiful kind of light lavender pink. This is what I think of. That blush, Dion uses it a lot. I have one here somewhere, but from House Labs called Lavender Blonde. This is what I think of whenever I read that name, Lavender Blonde. Like this feels like a lavender blonde. I just want it to be longer until it gets here because this is literally like from Sunday to Sunday. It'll go from bright fuchsia magenta to this. Do they make you show credentials at Sally because they ship and do pickup in store? I don't think they check. They do. I don't know about purchasing it online. I don't know if they have all the professional stuff online or if there's a thing you have to go through. But like I know our Sally, there's a separate section for certain products, and you have to be a stylist, and they like check. So I don't, and maybe that's just ours. Maybe in North Dakota we're a little bit more rules rules based. I don't know. People are a little bit more nervous about rules and stuff, but they do. I know there's a section that they make you show credentials. I'd go gray with that color. Yeah, this is kind of like a fun, like if you have gray hair, like this could kind of add to it. Because I do have a fair amount of gray. That's another reason why I color my hair all the time, is because then it just makes the gray blend in with the blonde or whatever color I'm doing. Just make sure that this stays out of my way. There we go. Very cute. I never saw that in any Sally's in Michigan, but I haven't been to one in a while. Yeah, I don't, and I haven't been to a Sally's in a while either. But yeah, every time, because I used to go there with my friend, and like the one in North Dakota, they wouldn't even let me stand in the section. Like he had to go back behind this little gate and buy the stuff, and then if he like wanted, he'd like, there was like a little like swinging door gate like an old west saloon, and he would like hold up colors, and I'd be like, that's not too bad. Like it was crazy. My Sally's are so bare. You haven't been. No, not cutting my hair, thanks, my little meat cleaver. So this is my peachy, what color is this? Cute in coral. This is from P. Louise, one of the color bases, and we're going to put a little eye primer on. This is very corally peach. Okay. I probably should have just done like a white. I always think about that after I've applied the primer on at least one eye, where I'm like, since you're doing colorful foundation and you want the color to be kind of true, you maybe should just do white. You dumb drag queen. uh, but you know what? We live and we learn. It is like a skin tone primer, roughly. If I was doing my regular eyes, I have a primer that's similar to my skin tone. Well, if this orange were my skin tone, this would be a similar to my skin tone primer. I know I put extra on there that I didn't necessarily mean to. Let's blend that out a little bit. Again, just trying to get the basic kind of shape. I can always powder this down, and then that will keep it from mixing quite as much if I don't want it to mix. I kind of want to do something different with the eyes. I don't know what. Like, I don't have a plan. I never have a plan, but I just kind of want to do something. I want it to look different. I don't know how. I rarely find anything I want in Sally's, usually nail stuff, but I haven't done my nails in ages. Don't need any falsies at the moment. Yeah, I've got a whole drawer. When when Blend Bunny was clearancing out their Vices and Virtues lashes, you could get them for like $2 a pair. And every time I ordered something, I would order like 5 pairs of Wicked or Vixen, which is my favorite. I think Wicked. Is it Wicked? Vixen. Sorry, pretty girl. Vixen was my favorite. So these are Vixen lashes. So I've got so many pairs. And so now, like, if I kind of mess them up, I do just kind of throw them away. I do usually reuse lashes, and I try to reuse them until they're like, I used to reuse them until they were like ready for the ground, like just absolutely terrible. Now, because I have so many, I kind of feel a little bit okay with throwing them out a little bit sooner if they start to look a little janky. But hello, Jace Erickson. Hello, nice to see you. Welcome. I saw some new self-adhesive lashes that I want to get and try. Maybe easier than magnetic ones. I don't have luck with magnetic ones, and I don't know if I would try self-adhesive. I wear so much makeup. I'm such an industrial application that I don't think it makes sense for me. I don't think magnetic lashes, any of that stuff makes sense for me. I don't go to Sally's anymore. I used to use hair stuff, but since I've retired and become a bog witch, don't need much. Yeah. Oh, Mama Champagne. I love it. I'm going to start. Okay, is this content? Because I'm about to turn to the side and I'm going to dig through my Blend Bunny drawer a little bit and see what inspires me, because I've been loving playing with Blend Bunny and I do feel like it works pretty well over top of these colorful foundations and stuff. Magnetic only work for me at the moment, self-application. What about the shades in plastic? What do we think about this palette? there's that peach that's kind of, I could do that around the edges. There's a beige for Mama Champagne. There's a beige just for you and a black to smoke it out. To smoke it out. What if we did a pink look? Pink with peachy and darken it up. I like that. Hello, first, last. Are you talking about Drag Race? Which is like, look how fucking orange you look. I know. I do feel a little bit like, oh, what is her name? The queen that feuds with Alyssa Edwards. I can see her in my mind. I look like her contour. Like my whole face looks like her contour. There's your peach. Oh, the peach palette from Gourmand Girls. Nina, are you in my brain? Where did I set that? I just did that. That ranking not too long ago. Where did I move those palettes to? Once I got done. Are they over there? Let me see. I can't see anything because I don't have my glasses on. Am I getting that Barbie palette? Which Barbie palette? Um, Tanya, which Barbie palette? If you mean the Gourmand Girls, I have that one. Is there a new Barbie palette that I don't know about it? You got it much. Oh, good. I'm glad that I knew that was. Look how fucking orange you look, and she did. Let's just say her contour did. The rest of her face was lovely, but her contour was very orange at that moment. Let me. Are those? They are there. Okay, hold on. Is this content? I'm gonna walk over there. Let me grab it. I'll be right back. But yes, I think the peach palette for the win, since I just did that. That Thunderdome, and of course it's on the bottom of the pile. I do love Blend Bunny, and I've been trying to use them more, but I think I could use this peach palette. And if the peach blends in too much to the orange, we can always bring in plastic and bring in those pink tones. But I think I want to start with this because this will give us some like smoky greens to add to it. So we can do peach on the inner part and then go to more of a green. And again, if I have to pull out the black from that other one, why are you giving me? Now my phone is also starting to give me double notifications. So like that message that I got earlier was over Facebook, and now it's been what, 20 minutes later, and now my phone is like, don't forget that so and so sent you a message, and it's like, yeah, I know. If I wanted to read it, I would read it. This AI slot bullshit that they're putting into everything is going to be the death of me. It's going to drive me into an early grave. I cannot stand it. It's everywhere and it's inescapable. Yeah, so let's go ahead and let's start with the shade Peach and Quiet, and do the inner part. Because again, I'll do shimmers on the lid, but let's start building a shape and we'll see how different it is. Because this, I'm hoping that these peaches have a little bit more. Yeah, that looks like it has a little bit more coral, a little bit of red. So it is kind of standing out a little bit, which I like. Because the greens were beautiful in last week's look, but some of the like, especially the base shades that I put on, were very, very similar to the green foundation. And so we didn't get near as much contrast as I was hoping for. So this seems to have a little bit more contrast. I'll just kind of go right here in the inner part. Start to bring it a little bit out. There we go. Very nice, very nice. And then, do we just go right into a green? So this is the shade Peach Out. And we're going to see what happens. Okay. This is maybe not the perfect brush for this, but when one has not washed their brushes in longer than one would like to admit, sometimes you have to make concessions. And we'll just kind of draw out our basic kind of shape. There we go. It's looking fairly good. I always see it when I'm not looking for it now because I can't find. Yeah, that always happens. Uh, oh, also, I posted about this on Facebook last night, but can I just have a moment to talk about the fact that I I am a proud Gen Xer. I'm proud of how old I am. I have no problem saying I'm 48 years old, is born in 1978. Proud Gen Xer, absolutely. Which of course means that like I am obligated to have watched and loved the movie Reality Bites, starring Winona Ryder and Ethan Hawke, as well as Janine Garofalo and Steve Zahn. I love it. I am a big fan, and I hadn't watched it for a long time. Now, I loved it. I loved it. It came out in like 94. At some point, I got a VHS copy probably around my senior year. Um, I had seen it so many times. I wore out a full ass VHS tape from watching it too many times. I used to be able to quote the movie from beginning to end. One time, drunk with some friends, they put it on and I recited the whole movie along with the movie, which luckily we were very drunk because it amused people, because that I can't imagine otherwise would have been fun for anyone, including me. But I used to know it back to front. Um, did block brows or are they shaved? They are shaved off. I shave off my brows. I don't think I've seen Reality Bites. Oh, I love it. 51, 73. Yes, VHS. These kids could never. Exactly. I loved it. There were things, and even when I wasn't reciting the whole things, there were things that I used to quote all the time. There's one I even forgot that that's where it came from, because whenever anybody would ask me like a hard question or even like a playful pretend hard question, I'd always just say, I was told there'd be no math on this exam, which is a line that Ethan Hawke says in the movie. I'd forgotten that that's where that comes from. I love that movie. Howsomever, now that I'm in my 40s, can we talk about can we talk about how that relationship, Ethan Hawke and Winona Ryder in that movie, is the most fucking dysfunctional relationship ever. 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 He is literally the worst. He is the worst. I cannot believe that we ever cheered for them. And we did. We did. We cheered for those two. Nobody liked Ben Stiller. Everybody wanted her to break up with him and to get with Troy. Oh my God. Hashtag justice for Michael Greats. Because now I look back and I'm like, that's why my dating life in my entire 20s was the most fucked up experience ever. It's why I have all the relationship trauma. Every poor choice that I made related to men is because I was chasing Troy from Reality Bites. And Troy from Reality Bites is a fuck boy. We didn't have that term in the 90s. He's a fuck boy. He's a douche. He's the worst. He's the worst. The sex scene that they have is like nothing but just like pale skin and greasy hair, and it smells like cigarettes through the TV. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And the fact that she ends up with him is a crime. It is a crime. I would love to see their rebooting and requilling and restarting and rejumping and whatever, all these old things. I would love to see a Reality Bites follow up, because they are divorced and they are co parenting not very well. That's what's happening. And I want to see it. I want to see Janine Garofalo. I want to see these cranky, bitter Gen Xers now in their 40s and 50s, and I want to see where they've gone to and what they've become and all that. I would love to see that, because, and if they try to put Winona Ryder and Ethan Hawke together again, knowing what we know now, knowing the trajectory of the world, Unforgivable. Absolutely unforgivable. I know that I've missed some comments. I just was on that rant and I had to finish it before but I just love, and there's a scene with Janine Garofalo. Janine Garofalo and Steve Zahn. Is that his name, Steve Zahn? Yeah, it's Billy Zane is the other one. Those names, they don't look alike. They're not similar, but I get those names mixed up, but it's Steve Zahn. And he plays Sammy, who's gay, and they pre-enact him coming out to his mother, and he's like, Mother, I have something to tell you. I am a homosexual. Oh, Christ. Is there a group that I can join to help me come to terms with my own homophobia? Why, yes, it's called PFLAG, Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays. Oh, flag. I'm beginning to like the sound of that. It's so funny. And then, of course, he comes out and it's sad because it was still the 90s. So, like, coming out stories, not a lot of joy a lot of times. But they did that kind of acting. And it's so funny. The way they do it is so funny. And so, like, those two characters together, Sammy and Vicky, they crawled so that Jack and Karen from Will and Grace could run. Because it's that same like straight girl, gay guy, sidekick kind of energy, and it's so funny, and I adore them. So let's back up and see what I'm missing out on. Let's see. Did I see Muriel's Wedding? Because I noticed that I had come up, but I didn't want to break from my little rant or I'd forget because I get confused. I have seen Muriel's Wedding. I love Muriel's Wedding. I love Toni Collette. I would watch her wash dishes. I love Toni Collette that much. And I love that movie. My friend Dwayne used to turn that into a drinking game. Every time you heard an ABBA song, every time somebody said, "You're terrible, Muriel," the sister, she said, "You're terrible, Muriel." And then anytime somebody said, "Oh my gosh, it's Deidre Chambers. What a surprise." Anytime you heard of those, you had to take a drink. Be careful. That game could kill you because those three things come up a lot. So I did see that. I love it. People are saying, hello, love Muriel's Wedding. Hello, Don. Nice to see you. We always wanted men that treated us like, yeah, that, let me tell you, because they romanticized it and they wanted you. And by the end, they convinced you that Winona Ryder should be with Ethan Hawke. And it's so, now looking back, I'm like, that's why my entire life has been a dating tragedy. Oh, terrible. That's because Ethan was. But now I look back, I'm like, he's not even cuter than Ben Stiller. I think Ben Stiller is hot in that movie. There's something about, but he was just, she didn't like him because he wasn't cool, right? Like he wasn't cool. Like Ethan Hawke was cool. He didn't have a job. He kept getting fired. He stole from his work and got fired. And then he was like couch surfing and living on their couch. But he's in a band, like he's in some shitty band. And oh God, I cannot even believe it. I cannot even believe it. People saying hello, hello, hello. Yeah, we were exposed to things before there were terms, labels, and title. Exactly. And can we, I mean, of course shit like that was going to happen because I also in elementary school read Flowers in the Attic and I started reading all of the VC Anders books. I collected them. So like how many incest stories was I reading on just like a normal thing? Like that was her shtick. VC Andrews. Well, I mean, she died fairly early, and they just hired a ghostwriter who like replicated the story over and over again. But still, like elementary school kids, a lot of us read VC Andrews. Like I was in the first time I read a VC Andrews, I was maybe like fourth, fifth grade. The 80s were wild, man. They were wild. What are we ranting about? I was ranting about Reality Bites. Because that movie like formed a lot of my personality, but I went back and watched it and I I feel like I'm entitled to compensation for the damages to my romantic life. Troy would be on some kind of permanent L plus one. I don't know what that means. Found it. Glamlight Barbie. I do have the new Glamlight Barbie palette. I haven't used it in Alive yet, but I do have that. The new Glamlight Barbie. Unpopular opinion of a Gen Xer. I didn't care for Reality Bites. Dawn, leave this house. I loved Reality Bites. I wore out a whole VHS tape. Never watched Reality Bites. Alex, what is happening? Nina, oh no, how did we miss it? And can I tell you, because I saw that and I had heard all the buzz that this was like the defining movie of Generation X. And let me tell you that as I grew older and grew older and grew older, now before they called them millennials, because I remember like we were Gen X, and then for a while they kept talking about Generation Y, and that was going to be like the next generation after us. And at some point that turned around to millennials. And at one point, I remember it being described as people who were born at the millennium. But then people kept like pushing it backward and backward and backward. And finally, now I think they've landed on 1980 is when the millennials started. And I was like, not a step further. If you think that I'm ever going to identify as anything other than Gen X, you can pry that out of my cold, dead hands. And I'm not going to be buried. I'm going to be cremated. So you're going to have to pick it out of the ash. I will not give up that title. I will not give it up for anything, for love nor money. I am Generation X. I'm proud of it. We've got grit. We've got resilience. And so they keep like moving it back. And I'm like, you better, like, I'm about to buy a gun and guard this border. Like, you need to stop at 1980. The people who born in the 80s, if you want to fight it out, you do that. But if you think you're taking one step further, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Hollywood is responsible for our broken dreams. Yeah, our life is not a cool musical montage, and you don't always get happily ever after. Absolutely. I never saw it, but I always thought Ethan Hawke was gross. I always thought he was kind of cute, but also Ben Stiller was more my type. So it's weird that I still got on board with that romance because Ben Stiller was more my type, except like blonde, like a blonde Ben Stiller. I was into if somebody looked like the villain in an 80s rom com, like the preppy blonde asshole. That was my type in college. Oh my God. The Dolph Lundgrens of the world. I wanted it like the mean fraternity president kind of character in a movie. That's who I was hot for all the time. And eventually I came around because now, like, I go back and look at Friends and everybody was like, and Joey is like personality wise, he's like the fuckboy or whatever. But like, he was like the hot one or whatever. I look back now and I'm like, Ross was the hot one. Like, Ross was hot. I'm just like David Schwimmer could get it, and he's aging well. He could still get it. I mean, Matt LeBlanc could still get it too. Let's be real. VC Hedgers just had a thing for brothers and sisters. Yeah, and she died. I didn't know this, but like she died fairly early because she wrote like that first series, the Dollenganger series that had flowers in the attic, and she wrote My Sweet Audrina, and then I think she wrote the first book of the next series, which I think was the Heaven series. I think she wrote the first book in that series and then died. And every VC Andrews book since then has been a ghostwriter. And they just gave them this, like, okay, well, just keep recreating this plot where it's always like some girl who's in a poor family, but they all love each other and it's beautiful. Then she finds out that she's actually rich, but her family is a bunch of assholes, and then she has sex with her brother. Like either she started dating her brother when she was poor and didn't know he was her brother, and then usually he rapes her. Like there got to be a lot of rape in the later ones too. That was creepy, but there was always incest. There was always a brother and sister that ended up together. It was very strange. VC Andrews was very strange. L and I, when you get hurt at your job, some people milk L and I for years. I don't know what L and I is. Like when you get like work, we have workman's comp. Is it like workman's comp? Is that just another name for like workman's comp? I don't know. I'm gonna check this group for the culture. How many of you watched the movie Crush Groove or heard of it? I've not heard of Crush Groove. I didn't watch any of those shows. I watched Sex in the City. Sex in the City also has a lot of Carrie Bradshaw. Ethan Hawke in Reality Bites is the Carrie Bradshaw of that movie. Carrie Bradshaw is such a game player, and she just had cute clothes and she was quirky and we all fell in love with her. But if you really examine like Sex and the City, she's awful. She's awful. I hate to say it. I'm a Miranda, but I hate to say it. She's awful. And don't even get me started. I may someday do a video on that reboot series and just like that. Terrible. Terrible. I'm still mad about it. Alex, the books all started to sound the same. Some broken girl and a mysterious relative. Exactly, because they were just, she had died, and so they were just like using this template over and over again. I was born in 1980, and I don't care for generational wars. I do because I'm Gen X. So you might be a millennial. So maybe 1980 is right for a millennial. Because Gen X, if you think we're going to be lumped in with millennials, you are crazy. Crazy. Likes the James Spader. I kind of do. love the bad boys. But Ross was whiny. He was kind of whiny, but he was right also. The whole we were on a break. If you break up with someone and they sleep with somebody else, you don't get to be mad about it because Rachel broke up with him. They were on a break. He had a drunken one night fling, and that made him want to get back together with Rachel. He was like, I don't want somebody else. And then she brought that up for ages, and she was wrong. Fuck Rachel. I would have been a Chandler chick. Chandler was cute too. He was cute, but he was like the quirky, funny. I wasn't. I was quirky and funny, so I was like, two Chandlers is a nightmare. So I was like, we were on a break. Yeah. Workman's comp is the same thing. Okay. I could not handle Ross and the whiny. I liked him. If Rachel hadn't have been such like that whole holding that break against him, he wouldn't have been as whiny. She made him whiny. Here I am blaming women for men's bad behavior. Oh God, have I become the enemy? What is happening? Only on Friends. Only on Friends. Normally, I rant against blaming women for men's bad behavior, but Ross, I think there's something there. There's something there. Sorry, this side, I don't see. It's when I try to even it out that it gets even more crazy. But let me. I'm talking so much, but I can't get caught up on these comments. I'm trying. I'm trying so hard. Okay. Carrie was a bad friend, but yeah, I mean, there was a lot of toxicity in that, but Carrie, like in her relationships, like after she cheated on Aiden, and then there's that like moment where she's standing at the door and she's like, you have to forgive me. You have to forgive me. That whole thing, I was like, she's such a manipulative. Oh, I'm a Charlotte Samantha. I'm definitely a Miranda. I'm very, very much Miranda. Carrie was the most annoying. And how did she afford all that on just writing a column? Are they rich? Yeah, the places that they lived and the money and all of that was a little bit crazy. Although I do love when she was gonna try to buy her apartment from the co-op board or whatever, and she was like, "Where did all my money go? I know I made some." And Miranda holds up a shoe and she's like, "Well, how many of these do you have?" And she's like, 50, and Miranda's like 50, and Carrie gives her a look. She's like 100, and she's like, "Would that be wrong?" And she's like, "Well, there's your down payment." And she's like, "No, that's $4,000." And she's like, "No, that's $40,000." That's how I feel about my toys and my makeup. That's where now I know where all my money goes. I would want to be a Samantha. Yeah, I'd want to be a Samantha because she had some hot men in that show. I didn't watch Sex in the City either. It has not aged well. There's still some good things to it, but it did not age well. Ross did not do anything wrong, but he always seemed depressed. Yeah, he seemed a little sad, but we liked him. He was whiny before Carol ruined him. Yeah, like Ross was a little bit whiny, but he also got some pretty. He married a lesbian and then had to like co-parent with this lesbian and was kind of left behind. But he did kind of hold on to that and hold on to the resentment a little bit too long. That was kind of a thing in the 90s. Like we weren't as evolved about like people coming out that we've been in relationships with. I had a friend who in college people sort of I think they called her the converter because she dated like three guys who came out after they broke up with her. And she had such a great, she's like, if they're gay, they're gay. Like, I didn't do anything to cause that. I'm glad that they have finally figured out who they are. And, but people were kind of bad about that. I didn't watch Friends either. I didn't watch a lot of it, but I've gone back and tried to watch some of it. It's up and down. I don't really care. Carrie really screwed Aiden, but I understand the attraction to Big. I never liked Big. I was Team Aiden the whole time. I was not a big fan of Big. This is us with makeup and our hobbies. The new Sex in the City revamp was horrible. Yeah, I may do a whole video about it. The weird thing about it is that the one character that actually turned out really good in And Just Like That is Charlotte. Charlotte, who was the worst character in the original series. Somehow she becomes the best character. That's what I find absolutely insane. What they did to Stanford, I know the actor was sick and he died, and they had to find a way to work around it, and they didn't want to just kill him off right away because it killed off Big. Like, but what they did to him was unforgivable. Like that, absolutely unforgivable. What they did to Stephen Miranda is unforgivable. I get it that Cynthia Nixon came out in real life, and I guess she's a big producer on it, so she could make them mirror her life. Uh, Bullshit. It was terrible. I'm probably gonna make a whole video. After the first Sex in the City movie. I thought because Kim Cattrall clearly did not want to be there anymore. She did not want to be there. She did not get along with the others. I should actually paint some makeup on my face while I'm ranting, but she didn't want to be there. And it's like, you could have made this so easy. The second movie, instead of going off to Abu Dhabi or whatever the fuck that was, have Samantha's cancer come back and deal with death in this friend group. That would have been beautiful and poignant, and they could have done it in a way that would have been amazing. Just have Samantha's breast cancer come back. She dies. That gets her out of the series. They don't have to worry about this like texting, fake presence kind of bullshit and her cameo where she refused to be on set with anyone else and all that kind of shit. They could have just done that very, very easily, but they didn't. Ooh, what brush is that? That's weird. All right, let's start doing some shimmas. I missed what happened with them. With the girls, well, apparently, from my Carrie, Sarah Jessica Parker just says nothing ever happened. She doesn't know what Kim Cattrall is talking about, and Kim Cattrall says that Sarah Jessica Parker decided she hated her and like got the other two on her side. So it was always those three against her, and she didn't like it and she didn't want to be there. And so she got a lot of money for the two movies, and they wanted her to come back for a Sex in the City 3, and she demanded a lot of money and her own development deal, and they said no. So she's like, "Well, we're done. Then we're done." She just was like that. I'm at the point now where if I'm going to come back and do this, I don't love it. I don't enjoy it. I need something for me and not just a bigger paycheck because she was going to get a bigger paycheck. But she just, yeah. I missed what happened with them. I just refused to continue watching. Yeah, the actor playing Steve annoyed me. I love Steve. He was always my favorite. I did like that. I didn't like the movies were a little sketchy. Oh, with Stanford in the show. So what happened with Stanford in the show was that because the actor was dying, so he did a few episodes and then he like disappeared and because he had been like a talent agent or whatever, and then they made this whole thing about how he was only had one client and it was this like I don't know if it was supposed to be like it was like a young pop star, like a young cute little gay twinkie pop star, and he like runs off to Japan with him. And then I think they break up and he like joins a monastery or something. And eventually they do have him die off screen. And I was like, I know that that's hard to deal with, but that story for how hard they worked to put Stanford and Anthony together to then do that to their relationship. Like they just that sequel show, they just discarded relationships that they had worked so hard to build. I felt like, and Just Like Us was written by people who had never seen Sex in the City. They just got maybe like some character profiles or something. They had never actually seen the show. That's how I felt. So I'm going to go into this shade right here, which is Papa Don't Peach. We love that. Your face is orange. Yes, David, it is orange. We're doing Wacky Wednesday. We're doing colorful foundation looks. Once they start milking the series and jumping, yeah, it gets bad. It's over. That sounds. Yeah, it was so terrible. It was so bad. I don't know what they were thinking. And then the way that they just threw away Steve and Miranda after all, and then just acted like, well, I was always queer and this was just whatever. And it's like, you have completely ignored the entire history of those two characters. Like, have your writers never seen the show? Did you not make them watch the show? Like, did you just give them some sort of like awful bios of the characters and just said, just go wild, do whatever you want? And the new characters were up and down. Some were okay, but some were really, really terrible. Yeah, completely off script for Miranda. Yeah, that was weird. Because that was the whole thing was that they got together at first. She was just like, oh, this is a good one night stand. And he actually wanted to get to know her and wanted to like, and she was just like, good sex. And that was the thing was that their sex life was always fantastic. They had trouble connecting because they were financially very different because of other things. Their culture was very different, but the sex was always great. So then when they try to pretend like all of a sudden they're having this really, he's like fingering her in the kitchen while he's making a salad. Like, it was just to bring in that Shay character who I know nobody likes Shay, and it's not because they were non-binary. It's because they were a terrible character and they broke up a good couple. So maybe I won't need to make a video. We've ended up ranting about so much. Now I'm going to go into this one. This one is You're a Peach. This one's a little bit deeper. I'm hoping I still want to use this lighter green shimmer. So I'm hoping this won't take it in too weird of a direction, but I do want to have some variance in this peach. So I'm trying to layer that a little bit. And then maybe what we'll do is maybe we'll do the dark green shimmer and just not quite meet them up. And then I'll put the minty shimmer in between them. Yes, Janet, tell us what kind of shows you liked. I'd love to hear because I cannot believe you didn't watch Reality Bites. What? It hurts my heart. It hurts my heart. All the people who didn't watch Reality Bites. I'm going to go into Fuzzball, which is this dark green shimmer. And I'm going to kind of build this up. I may go into plastic to get a black. We will see. There is a darker green that I can use to darken the outer corner, but I don't know if it's going to be quite dark enough. I may actually want a black. So let me go here. All right. So what did you like? Anyone else? Strangers with Candy? I did like some Strangers with Candy. I don't know why I didn't watch it a lot. I think because I didn't have the kind of cable that had, I don't remember what channel it was on, but I either didn't have cable at the time when it was really on, or I didn't have cable that, because for a while it might have been on when I was in the dorms and we had like a limited cable, but we didn't have like full cable. But I do remember seeing one episode that made me laugh because I'm a theater nerd. And they do a production of Raisin in the Sun, which is like a very prominent black playwright, all black cast, a black story, like a black history story. And when they cast it, this is the kind of humor that was in Strangers with Candy. It's so not like PC or whatever, but like all the named roles were the white kids and all of their last names, because the main character is Jerry Blank. And so it would be like Chris White, Pam, like what's Pam Snow. So they all had names that referred to like white or no color. And then so they name all the named characters. You see all these white kids, and then they say, and the rest of you, and they turn and it's all the black kids, and they go, you guys will be trees. And there's no trees in A Raisin in the Sun. But so it was that kind of like really like bizarre humor. But I did enjoy it when I watched it, but I never got to see it often enough for it to really grow into something that I had to watch. But I just that Raisins, every time there's like theater kid jokes, I love it. I'm such a theater kid nerd. And then this is Georgia Peach. This is that minty green. And so we're going to start bringing some of that in between these two. Let's kind of go right in here. But I just love that. I love weird theater kid jokes. If you have not seen the movie Camp with Anna Kendrick, it is so good. I love it. It is so funny. And if you are a theater kid, there are so many like cheesy theater kid jokes that are so funny, especially with Anna Kendrick. She's so good. She plays Fritzy, and it's so good. Let me see here. I missed a lot of shows because I stopped watching for over a decade. Oh yeah, see, I would mostly like watch movies and stuff for a long time because I didn't have cable. I wasn't really interested in paying for cable. I was much more likely to buy cheap DVDs and like watch movies because then you could rewatch them. I loved that. There we go. I'm kind of liking that blend. I like Anna Kendrick. I love Anna Kendrick. Besides Tanya and I shop Ipsy Shop, I do not shop Ipsy Shop. I had Ipsy ages and ages ago. Natasha Denona, My Dream, and also Bronze Palace 25. Ooh, I sometimes I look at that My Dream palette and I am tempted, but then I also know that like I'm tempted because there's a weird like basic Becky that lives inside me. Like this is me. This is me. Why would I need any Natasha Denona palette besides like Circo Loco? Like the one that's actually kind of colorful. Like this is what I do. So even if I bought it, even if I made a beautiful look with it, I would just be like, but where's the color? Where's the color though, but they get me when they put it on like a good sale like that. Oh, but so let me tell you, the one that kills me time, every time is because when I was in high school, every every like high school drama would do some sort of reading or something of Night Mother, the show Night Mother, or people would do scenes from it in speech. There were always people. Everybody knew Night Mother. If you hadn't been in it or hadn't read it, you knew what it was about. Everybody knew Night Mother. That Shimmer's Gorge. Thank you. Yeah, I love this. Except for rewatching Dr. Hun Xena. I love Xena. Basic with a capital B. I love that for you, Dawn. I love that journey. Yes, Xena. I love Xena. So Anna Kendrick is in this movie where it's all these kids going to a theater camp. And they all have different personalities and different things that they're going after or whatever. So Anna Kendrick's thing is that she's this kind of mousy, shy, weird girl. And she's got an obsession with Jill, the popular girl, who's like blonde. She always gets cast in the lead or whatever. And so, and she just like, she comes from a rich family. So she shows up in like a convertible. And Anna Kendrick goes over to her and she's like, can I carry your bag? And she's like, I guess. And then she's like, is this your first summer here? And Anna Kendrick says, she says, no, don't you remember? I was here last year. We were in Night Mother together. And the reason why that is such a funny joke for a theater nerd like me is because Night Mother is not only a two-person show, it's you and one other person, but it's one of the most like intense, dramatic, like two-person shows ever. It's so like it's this mother and daughter, and the daughter has become kind of a caretaker for her mother, and her mother is like kind of abusive, but then also like needs the daughter because she can't like fend for herself. And eventually the daughter at the end of the play goes off stage and kills herself. So if you were in Night Mother, you would remember who you were in Night Mother with. So that is so funny to me that she's just like, don't you remember we were in Night Mother together? Like there's so many little jokes like that that if you know like the shows, it's so funny. It's so funny. Oh, I love it so much. Yes, first last, you got it. There's only two people in that show. I love it so much. I love it so much. Oh, and then there's like everybody's always making fun of they have this guy who's like a sports counselor, and all the kids are like, we have a sports counselor. And he goes around and tries to make friends with the kids and like introduce himself. He's like, hi, I'm Buddy whatever, the sports counselor. And they're like, we have a sports counselor. And then there's this one show where they're doing, who wrote Waiting for Godot? Is that Beckett? But they're doing, I'm pretty sure it's a Beckett play where they're all in a dumpster and the guy is like yelling at them. Because it's this like critique of like capitalism and materialism and all this kind of stuff. And so the guy who's directing it, they're like not getting it because it's weird. Like Beckett is known for being weird. Waiting for Godot is weird. This one, which I can't remember the name, is also weird where they're in the dumpster. And so he's like, and so then they don't say it the right way or do it the right way. And so he's like, what's wrong with you, you bourgeoisie pieces of shit? And it's just like yelling at them. And like the three kids in the dumpster are like, they don't know what to do. And then he's like, and don't forget the choreography. Eyes, eyes, silent scream. Because that's the kind of shit that it was. It would be like silent scream. There would be like lots of looking back and forth or like eyes. So just like, don't mess up the choreography. Eyes, eyes, silent scream. Oh my God, it's so funny. And then they decide they have this whole thing about colorblind casting. And so like this kid takes his little brother into like the camp director and he's like, I don't want my little brother thinking that all we can do is play these like bit parts in white productions. Like, I want you to do, like, you need to do right by us or whatever. And he's like, I don't have enough black kids to do like Porgy and Bess or whatever. And he's like, well, you better figure out something. It's him. And his little brother is so cute. His little brother, and like doesn't talk, but at the end, he's got this big tap number and it's so cute. But so then they decide to do Dream Girls and they put this white girl in in this big like beehive wig, and then she sings to the little boy, the big like I'm telling you I'm not going, the big like we're breaking up ballad, and it is so funny. Like the whole show, it's so funny. And eventually, like Jill rejects Fritzy one too many times. And so Fritzy decides to get revenge. So she like poisons her drink. And during ladies who lunch in the show Company, Fritzy starts throwing up on stage. And so all of a sudden, Anna Kendrick shows up in the costume because she's like the understudy. And she's like, I just know how disappointed the other kids would be if the show got canceled. And he's like, he says something like, you're a fucking monster. And she's like, please, I am a child. And then he starts to say something else. And she's like, listen, Rummy, she's fucked. I'm ready. And the goddamn show must go on. And she struts out on stage and pushes the other girl off and then finishes the song. It's so funny. This movie is so funny. I will need to catch you on the replay. Just everyone have a good night, Nina. It's nice to see you. Oh my god, if you love theater stuff and like you're a weird theater kid like me, camp is so good. It's so good. Oh, there's so many good like theater references. It's so funny. Oh, eyes. Oh, it's eyes, nostrils, silent scream. Nostrils. Like he does something to like flare out his nostrils. Oh my god. And there's this cute little like fuckboy kid who like the kind of nerdy girl is into him and he's kind of into her, but then Jill the popular girl kind of wants him and she's a problem, and so there's this whole thing, and it's so funny, it's so funny. uh Becca, I think her name was. Oh, if you haven't seen Camp, you you have to see Camp. I've explained so many of the jokes, but it's still worth it. And then there's this song that I used to do at shows because there's this girl who her dad doesn't like that she's a little chubby, and so she's there and she's got her jaw wired shut at a theater camp where you have to act and sing and all this stuff. Her jaw is wired shut, and she's like telling them that that's the compromise because her dad wanted to send her to like a fat camp, and she wanted to go to drama camp. So then they compromised where she went to drama camp, but her jaw was wired shut. And then, so, which is like horrible, like could potentially be really fat phobic and whatever. But then at the end, again, somebody gets sick, there's some sort of problem. And so they go to this girl and they're like, we need you. And like this guy pulls out a pair of pliers and they like take off. They don't show it, it's off screen, but they like take off her stuff that's wearing her jaw shut, and she sings this song that's like, here's who I am, and it's like this empowering moment, and her dad is in the audience and he finally gets it, and they have this like eye moment where they're looking at each other and he's finally proud of her, and it's this whole thing. It's very cute. But yeah, it's so funny, and the music is actually really good. And now this mirror just like changed color on its own. All of my electronics are fighting me all the time. Although this does make me look more orange, so I do kind of like it. So there, I wanted to put a little bit more shape around the eye, a little bit more dimension. I'm liking. I want a little bit more of that light green. No surprise, I am a minty green monster. But I do love the way that those blend into each other. So if I go a little bit above and then there we go. We like that. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of liking this. It's very October. This is very Halloween look. It's a little crazy, but let's see. Oh, with another fluffy brush, I was gonna go into this lighter peach, this shade. Or actually, I think I kind of like it. I like the way that it's just kind of this dark. I was gonna buff on the edge of that, but I don't mind that it's a little bit of a harsher line this time. So let's get to, we're at, I was going to say 119. We're at an hour and 19 minutes. I should probably start getting towards doing some cheeks. We've been doing this for a long time, and we know that YouTube likes to get fussy around 2 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and start building some of this around the corner of the eye. Oh, and let's take that fluffy brush and just do, I'm not going to do my full hard triangle because again, we're trying to do like different shapes and stuff, but let me just do a little bit, not a full triangle, but let me just put some of this darker green called Wanna Peach Me. And let's just put that like in the corner in kind of a loose, maybe a little bit more of a rounded shape than a true triangle. Also, can we talk about, this is going to take a little while. I don't know when this is going to come out. I'm going to do some scripting for this. I'm working on we talked a little bit about Victoria Jackson Cosmetics and how I want to do a video about it. And I was just going to do kind of a like fun, quirky thing or whatever. I ordered a couple pieces. There was some like vintage Victoria Jackson makeup on eBay. I ordered some stuff in. I ordered the videotape because that was like 12 bucks. And I have like a VHS converter. So I'm going to try to get that converted over. It is also available to watch on YouTube, but I want to work on scripting this out. And as the makeup came in, it ended up being something that I think is going to be a little bit more of a serious video than I expected. If any of you watched my first Barbie, where I talked a little bit about, yes, it's dolls and it's fun, but it's also queer trauma. I think Victoria Jackson is going to be a little bit of that too. There's going to be a little bit of like processing through some like queer trauma through Victoria Jackson Cosmetics. And yeah, so I want to make sure I have time to really do a good job with it because I'm having lots of thoughts about it. I'm having lots of like thoughts and feelings about Victoria Jackson Cosmetics. If you don't remember, we talked a little bit about it in a previous live, but Victoria Jackson sold her cosmetics through like late night infomercials. And I was obsessed. And if I ever caught one, I was there. It didn't matter how late I was going to be up. I was going to be there till the end. I'm going to switch to my TV while fixing lunch. Well, welcome back. Glad you had a good trip to BJ's to buy some goodies. Now I feel like I need a color on the inner corner. And I did save, this is Peachy Keen. This is our lightest shimmer. It looks like it's a little bit more of like a satin shimmer, but it might have a little bit of like metallic to it. Ugh. So let me get a more kind of pencil. And now the mirror has just gone off. Oh, because, okay, hold on. I was like, why is that happening? Because it's losing its charge. Because when I filmed, this again is such a weird gamut of like pasted together, like lights plugged into things and things are in chargers and some are in other chargers and just trying to get things to work because it's all so janky. I have to unplug my mirror if I want to use my microphone. So now I can have it plugged in. There we go. There we go. This setup is so janky. It's so janky. Oh, but now it's like turned to that weird color again. And now it won't turn off. Okay, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. Let's go into PG Keen. Who knows how long I'll have light or if it'll start on fire. So let's pick up the pace, Mouthy. You're talking too long. Let's pick up the pace. So this is kind of a nice, like little light pastel sheen. It's not that much different, but it does give a little bit of like a golden glow to the inner corner. I do like that compared to the other side, but it does blend nicely into that other one, which is good. So let's go ahead. I'm very tempted, but I'm kind of like, again, I'm getting ready to go on this photo shoot trip at the beginning of August. So I'm trying to like, so I haven't picked up the Summerween palette. I've been very good. I've been very, very good. I haven't picked up the Summerween. And now Trixie has a new collection coming out. I was going to say tomorrow. Is today Thursday? When I have a long weekend, I'm so confused. It's Thursday today, right? Or is it Wednesday? Alexa, what day is it? It's Wednesday. So it's coming out tomorrow. I was like, did I just skip an entire day in my week? So it is so tomorrow, it comes out tomorrow morning. And I'm not gonna pick it up, although it's beautiful. I'm so excited. it's going to end up in my collection. And also, I did have a little chat with Michael Charles, the crystal smith, and it sounds like mystery boxes are probably going to be coming back again sometime soon. And I said, well, as you're thinking about the timing, just know that my bonus comes in at the end of August. So even if you launch it soon, please don't end it before the end of August. Because I will certainly, and because I had told him that I'm getting ready for this photo shoot. And so one of the looks is a look that I put together because December 1st of this year is my 25th anniversary in drag. And so I wanted to do a big, like, gold shoot. So I have this gold gown from Morgan Wells. It's gold and silver, but mostly gold. And so I have a bunch of stuff that I've gotten from his mystery boxes. I have a mantle that's in gold with topaz stones. I have a necklace that's in gold and AB stones with some pearls. I have a circlet that I got in the mystery boxes or during the sale. I can't remember which one. He might have actually gifted that to me. And I've got a pair of earrings that I got in the first mystery boxes. So I told him I'm going to be just dripping in Crystal Smith jewels. And he was like, by the way, I'm percolating doing another set of mystery boxes. And I was like, think of me when you're scheduling. Just know that I would love it if it was end of August. If it could go, at least go through the end of August. So look for, at some point, there'll probably be an unboxing. I've been tangoed. I saw the new collection from Trixie, not the one for me. I like it because it's got a mint in it. If you give me a mint with some like peachy neutrals, I love it. I think it's kind of like this in a slightly more neutral version where there's kind of like peachy pinky colors, but they're a little bit more neutral. There's a couple pops of like a beautiful turquoise. And the lip products look cute. Oh, I just someday later on, I'll just have to hope because you never know with her stuff when it's going to sell out, if it's going to sell out, and you never know if it's ever going to come back if it does sell out. Sometimes it does, sometimes you never see it again. And so I that's what I hate about Trixie. That's why Trixie's a little bit harder to resist sometimes is because it is just so, I mean, some of her releases sell out that day. Some of them take months to sell out. Some of them never sell out. And it's just like, and then sometimes if they do sell out, sometimes it's restocked in a couple months. Sometimes it takes over a year. Sometimes they never come back. She promised us Bobble lipstick and just stopped talking about it and has never come out with Bobble lipstick again. And it makes me enraged. Oh, this mirror is starting to flash now. Can I? You're plugged in. I swear. The electronics in my life hate me. And it's not plugged in through a brick. It's plugged in directly to my computer, which is plugged in. So I don't know why it's struggling. This is if it starts to go low, I always just like plug the charger back in and plug it in and it's fine. When did electronics get so shitty? When did that happen? Why did it happen? You've been tangoed. Would you recommend Trixie eyeshadow as far as pigmentation? I started with Juvia's Place. I did my most recent Get Ratchet With Me video is using the Trixie Air collection. And let's be real, if you go look at it, that look is beautiful. That look is beautiful. It came out beautiful. Was it as good as previous palettes from Trixie? I don't think so. I struggled a little bit more with it. Hello, Cheese. How's it going? Hello, Paul. You've been tangoed. Well, hello. Tango. Then I look like Tang. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, the electronics are being homophobic. I don't. Pride Month is over, so apparently we just have to not. We just have to deal with whatever. If I unplug it, what happens? It just goes out. Okay. So what if I plug it back in again? We'll do without for a little while because I think now I'm at a point where I'm going to glue on lashes. So it's not as imperative that I have the full, not with the liquid blush. We're not gonna, this is what happens when I don't have my glasses on. Sometimes I grab stupid things thinking that there's something else. Okay, let's put that back away. Eyelash glue. We should glue eyelashes with eyelash glue. Crazy. And I've got these Wicked lashes just sitting here. Maybe we'll use these. And I'm just going to let this mirror charge for a little bit so it's plugged in but not on. And then when we go to do the blush, I think I'll want it for blush again. So let's just let it charge for a hot minute. So these, I do like the Wicked Lashes. They're still a little bit like they're in little sections, but they're not as piecey. I like the spikier, like individual spiky things of the Vixen a little bit better, but I think that this will be good. If I didn't have to record that promo for bingo, I would turn this into a jack-o'-lantern look. Like I would do black over the nose and around the mouth. But for a bingo that's happening in July, it would be weird. It's already going to be weird to have someone with an orange face promoting it. So like also an orange face that's a jack-o'-lantern would be a little bit strange. So we're not going to do that. But I do this orange would be great for like a pumpkin kind of look. Good to know. Good to know. Oh God, too much eyelash glue. Sometimes I just go a little bit ham with the eyelash glue. I don't mean to. All right, we're gonna let that dry down a little bit. People always say 30 seconds. Who are you people? Who are you people? If you're in the comments below, let me know if you are able to put eyelash glue on and then put your lashes on 30 seconds later. I want to know why you have not been burned as a witch because you're doing some sort of black magic to make that happen. And I want to know how you do it. I want to know, like, are you just sitting there for 30 seconds blowing on them to get them to like, because it's never ready in 30 seconds for me. It's never, ever, ever, ever ready for me in 30 seconds. So, is there anything else that I can do? We did a layer of Lash Princess by Essence again. I'm loving $5. Why? Sometimes I still buy like expensive mascaras, and then I think about it and I'm like, why? All you need is a little bit of Lash Princess. Like this is so good. And all I'm really doing is I'm using it to darken my lashes before I put falsies on because I need falsies because my lashes are too small for drag by themselves. Like they're just too small, but it still even looks much better once I've put the mascara on. Like it just starts to pull the look together. I just love it. I just love it. All right. Are we ready? Let's try and see what happens. Yeah, too liquidy. Still. But I do find that if you have trouble gluing lashes, I do sometimes find that if I like place them down kind of where I want them and then pull them off so that then you have glue on the lash and on the eyelid, that does sometimes help to get it then as you're then reapplying to get it to stick. But it is frustrating the first time when you like lay it down and it's maybe in a good spot, but then you can tell it's not attached. And so then you have to pull it off and do it again. But it does help to sometimes then have a little bit of glue on both the lid and the lash. There we go. Beautiful. Pumpkin goddess. Gorgeous. I was gonna say ready for pumpkin spice latte season. I don't even like pumpkin. Maybe I'm the like pumpkin queen who's like, don't murder my brethren. You can just have cocoa. Don't do it. I'm the Norma Ray of pumpkins. The kids don't even know who that is. Hurts my heart. Union. I'm out here unionizing the pumpkins. There. Pretty. We like that. So there's the eye look. The eye look is pretty good. Let's get some Blend Bunny blush. So we did green and orange. So maybe we'll try to do a more natural look, which of course with this means orange. There is a beautiful orange right in here. So we'll start with that and see. I haven't done any contour. Oh, Lord. I mean, I did the contour of using the two different shades. The mirror's staying on for now. That's. Should I use some brown? Since we went with green, I think we could do brown contour. Maybe we'll start with a little bit of the contour from Blend Bunny. This is the light one. This is too light for this orange face, girl. Get it together. What are you doing? We clearly need the medium tan. Let's go ahead and do the medium tan shades. Definitely need something from here. This has gotten more use even with my regular drag stuff. The light one is fine, and every once in a while I want something a little bit more subdued, a little more subtle. Where are all my brushes? I need to wash brushes so badly, so badly. Let's do, here's kind of a stiffer one. Anybody remember when every white label place was doing these like unicorn horn brushes? I still have some remnants of that. I always think that I should like declutter my brushes, but then also at some point I get to a point where all of my other blush brushes are not washed. And then I need one of these like unicorns, and I'm like, unicorn coming in clutch. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm not gonna say shade names for this because this medium tan is the one that I rearranged. So I just bought the bundle when this Masterclass 2 came out. So I got the deep dark, the medium tan, and the light. I kept the light as is, and then for the other two palettes, I took out the shades and mixed them up, and I kept ones that I thought I would use, and I sent ones that I thought Dion might be able to use to her. And so both of our palettes are kind of a mixture of the medium and the deep options for Masterclass 2. So I don't think any of them are actually the shade name, because I think even if I kept the one of the shades in a palette, I rearranged them to make a look like an arrangement that I would like better. And so I don't know that most of them. I did write all the shade names on the bottom, but who wants to like pull out a shade every time you want to just say the name? So I have not done that. So we're doing this kind of dark brown. It's blending better on that side. This side I got a little crazy. Trying to not be quite so spiky. Let's go up the hairline. A lot of that will get covered up by the wig, so it doesn't have to be super precise, but I just like to go up here and make sure I get around the hairline. And then I'm going to go into this even a little bit darker shade and just do the like inner pockets of the cheek. Because then we're going to kind of go over, so it's real dark, but we're going to go over this with that orange blush shade. And so that will tamp down, because I don't think I should, one of these looks I should probably try, but I haven't used like the Hourglass finishing powders over top of like a colorful foundation, because I'm not sure how it's going to affect the coloration. So that maybe should be on the list for something to try one of these times, is to try to, it's looking very pumpkiny. There's something about this that feels very Halloween, and I kind of like it. It's also becoming a little bit mutton chops, but again, all of this is going to come together. We just need a little bit of blush, but let's stop that for now. And let's go ahead and grab this this. Yeah, this is a Jacqueline Cosmetics. Rest in peace. Don't forget to thumbs up if you have not already. I would love it. But this is the shade Caldera from the Masterclass 1 blush palette. Yeah, it's just dark enough. Okay, good. It is just a little bit darker, and so it gives a little bit of that, like, more of a natural blush. If you were actually orange, this is kind of what your skin would look like if you blushed. And going over that dark, it does start to bring in some of the dark, which I like. But let's bring that down into the contour. Oh, that blend. That blend. Okay. I like the way these blend together. This is really gorgeous. Oh, you know what could be really good with this? That like mustardy color from the new psilocybin. I know that that's the way, because I asked Alexa. I know that that's the right way to say it, psilocybin. I just think psilocybin sounds better. But I also don't want people to be like, you're saying it wrong, because I am, but I want to say it wrong on purpose. Because I just think it sounds better. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful and because I say words wrong. What company was it? I remember all through the 80s there were commercials. It was either a hair care or a makeup. And they would always, don't hate me because I'm beautiful. I feel like it was a hair care, but anybody remember what brand that was don't hate me because I'm beautiful? Because then my brain just goes Maybelline, which is not correct because maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. That was their little slogan. But does anybody remember? Is it Pantene? Pantene? Pantene, Dawn! Yes, thank you. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. Oh, she's carved. Again, the two cheeks are both beautiful. They don't look like each other, but that's okay. That's just fine. That's good. Let's see. And now let's grab those psilocybin cheeky things. Where are they? Where are you? Where did you go? Are you even in this? Every time I take stuff out of this blend bunny drawer, I can never get them in the way that they were before. They don't want to. I've already expanded this out to 3 drawers, and now I can't even keep the 3 drawers from not closing. Tawny Katane. I love Tawny Katane. She was in a lot of like B movies that I used to watch on USA Up All Night. Loved her. Just could you all just sit in there nicely so I could close the drawer? I have to get to a different drawer. No, I guess not. I'll just hold this one. That's fine. Ugh, it's not in there either. All the like cheek stuff is up here, but it managed to be under. Is this content me just like talking to myself? Can't believe she's already got. I know. Autumnal Glam. Thank you. Thank you. The Ellis. Oh, I do have. The Ellis is this. Oh, I do have this. Ooh. Should we throw a little Ellis heat on top of this, like on the apple? Let's do a little to see what it does. Because that other orange turned a little bit red with that darkness. Oh, this is good. I like it. I like it. Oh, that's pretty. I always forget. I like these Ellis blush palettes. I just forget about them. I don't know why. I don't know why I can't keep them in my brain. I do like them. So pretty. Okay, then we've got. Where are all of my other Blend Bunny cheek products? Why are you hiding from me? Please stop. Come out, wherever you are. And Meet the young lady who fell from a star. You're welcome for that little piece of musical history. We've got a bunch of stuff. We've got so much stuff. I don't think of, well, until Masterclass, I never thought of Blend Bunny as like a blush brand, but they have really good blushes. I like all of their blush products and their highlight products. Okay. Ellis Island, yeah. Let's see. Do I have where's my color switch? I don't know how well color switch works on blush brushes anyway, but I always try. I always worry that I'm just picking up shadow into the blush brush, but I either need to buy blush brushes or I need to not be insane and I need to wash brushes. I do need to wash brushes because I'm about to go on that road trip. So I need to just go ahead and do that. I'm going to start with this shade Tangent. Actually, I don't know why I did that because I'm for a highlighty kind of thing. I want a different brush anyway. I want a smaller brush. I'm going to go into Tangent, this like orange highlighter. Oh, shut the front door. How pretty is that? How pretty is that? I'm just taking it over the blush. Look at that. Oh, this is like insane. These Masterclass blushes. I do love the Ellis blushes, but these Masterclass blushes that they did, especially these shimmery ones, are just next level. They're so good. They're so good. I want to bring it down here into the cheek a little bit. So it's a little bit of a shimmery blush moment. It's not just highlighter because we're going to add, we know I don't wear blush. I wear 6 blushes. So even when I'm trying to not be as like so many different colors, like I want it to be all kind of like blendy, but I want it to be a lot of blush. I want a lot of blush. On the Cupid's bow. Oh, itchy nose, itchy nose, itchy nose. Ah. That keeps happening to me when I'm doing makeup and like in videos. And I usually cut it into the bloopers, but it's always like, it looks like I'm picking my nose, but I'm like, I wish I were just picking my nose. My nose, every once in a while, will just like itch in this way that like cannot be satisfied. And I hate it. Okay, let's do a little bit of gold. Let's do a little bit of drip, this gold. And let's do this more as like a highlighter. I know I've already forgotten the psilocybin, the like mustardy color. I'm now into highlight. I've moved on with my life. Look at that. Look at that. Look, it just adds a little something into this little highlight area. Shut up. It's so good. I just love it. Oh, my little Domo Arigato Mr. Roboto nose. I always have to do it. A little bit more on the Cupid's bow. A little on the chin. Up by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Can we just have a moment for this cheek situation? Now the contour is a little bit more angular than I would like. That's not perfect. But this, once you get into this like orangey gold moment, are you kidding me? Oh, it's so good. It's so good. All right, we're getting close to 2 hours, so I should probably Throw on a lip. Let's do a lip. Let's do that. No, let's do a glam light. Let's do a brown, like a dark brown. That chai lip liner is dark, but it's not as dark as I would like. I want a deeper, more like that. This is from one of the Glam Light dessert collections. And then should we do? Yeah, let me grab a new. Where are my makeup wipes? Oh, they are. All right, everybody's gotten really quiet, and I feel like there should be more appreciation for this highlight. You never have to comment. I don't expect people to comment, but come on now, that highlight. Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? I just feel like there needs to be more appreciation for Blend Buddy in their highlight. It looks like a pencil. It does look like a pencil. Let's do. Oh, I'm reconnecting. So now is the audio issue gone? Because I know that sometimes when it reconnects, the last time it fixed the audio issue. So let me know, anybody who's watching, if you could let me know if the audio is better, if it's worse. Because last time it got better and we could just like power through. But is it? Oh, so now it's. Oh, because you probably had turned it up because I was too quiet. And now it probably fixed it. So I'll try to control my braying donkey voice for a little bit until you get the volume. Um, until you get the volume readjusted. There we go. Now, let me look in my pinks and oranges liquid lipstick thing and see if I've got like an orange. Ooh, look at that. And then that lipstick. Hello, KT Bloop. Thank you. This is Wacky Wednesday. Every Wednesday in July, we are doing colorful foundation looks. And so tonight we used orange foundation from Indie Beat Cosmetics and from Glisten Cosmetics. And we did an orange peachy green eye look using Peach Perfect from Gourmand Girls. So now I'm going to use this Gavisi Beauty to do kind of a corally red. And I want this to have color, but I don't want it to be like a full, like solid color of the liquid lipstick because I'm going to put that lipstick, the bulletless lipstick over it, the glittery one. Tomorrow I'm having Wacky Thursday. I overline my lips and erase the Cupid's bow. I try that every once in a while. And I feel like I tried it once and I liked it. And the other times I've tried it, I haven't really loved it. But I have a trouble sometimes with my Cupid's bow. So I need to play with that more. That should be another thing I work into the rotation, is doing more kind of playing with my lip shape beyond just overlining it. Okay, it's a little too much. Around the perimeter. We can fix that. Pat it with a makeup wipe. A makeup wipe. I'll do a little bit more pencil. Now we'll let this dry for a hot second. You don't love it? Oh. I sometimes I see people do it and I love it on them. I don't usually love it on me. So I think there's something about how it looks on me that I don't vibe with. I need to get a new one of these ColourPop star stamper things because I love my little star beauty mark, but this one is fighting for its life. But while I wait for this to dry, there we go. Because yeah, I just can't get a solid star anymore. And then it's when I go in to try to fix it that then that's when I usually mess it up. And I store all of my liquid liners upside down. And I always check to make sure the caps are tight, but they're just getting old because I don't use liquid liner that much. So I bet you look great with that, Dawn. I bet you look fabulous. But if you like to do it to feel wacky, I love that for you as well. So maybe what I'll do, I'm going to do the Kevin Aquan trick. I'm going to take a puff. Ooh, and I have a peach powder. I have Ultra Peach from One Size. So this even will, the color will maybe help a little bit. Probably not a lot because it's still like a sheer kind of setting powder or whatever, but I'm going to go into this. This is the lighter of the peach powders. And I'm going to try to hit all of the lip and the liner. But not get the foundation. I'll take a... And that does really tamp down the color. But remember, we're going to put a glitter lipstick on top of this. So it was just about getting some base color. And I think that having this will help it keep from getting too goopy. It might still get a little bit goopy, but if we can minimize the goop, then we're not total goop troop. I know it's usually goof troop, but I get pretty goop troop. And then I've got this Kavisi Beauty liquid lipstick everywhere, as always. Okay, now this is, like I said, like a $6 lipstick from Amazon. Tool's good, thank you. So we've got that. And now, are you ready? It is struggling a little bit over the powder, not surprising. Looks good, thank you, thank you. It is red, okay. But for a cheap lipstick, I'm not surprised. There we go. Not as glittery as I was hoping. The glitter did seem to mix a little bit with the powder. So maybe if I do like a... I think it's kind of reactivating that lipstick. So yeah, it's, I mean, it's just a cheap lipstick. I shouldn't expect miracles, but layering it probably caused a problem, but there's my little, got a big old kiss print on my hand. And now I need more pencil. Sometimes it takes away too much of the lip line and I need to get it back. All right. Do I have... Is this a gloss? No, that's a liquid lipstick. I mean, this is my liquid lipstick drawer, but I did throw some glosses in there for some reason. Yeah, I do like that it's a little bit more of a neutral lip. I mean, it's a neutral for this complexion. But I want a little bit of glitter. And that lipstick it was pretty, but it's not giving me as much as I would like. There we go. Oopy goopy lips. Just amps it up a little bit. Just gives a little bit more shine. A little bit more shimmer. There we go. Let me throw on a wig. I do have a dress sitting right over there. That same leopard dress. This leopard dress is starring in all of the... Yeah, I think that's good. Thanks, KT Bloop. Yeah, I think that was just what I needed, that little pop of glitter. Let me step off camera. Again, is this content? We haven't seen CJ tonight. Have we seen CJ? I don't think we have. If you're here, hello, welcome. Maybe I saw you earlier and said hello, but I don't know if I have. But is this content when I just walk off and I'm going to throw on a leopard dress and I'm going to throw on a wig? Where's the top of this dress? There it is. Okay. Oops. Then rip the hair clip out of my hair. That's fun for me. And then I do have my usual like Jennifer Grey Pubes wig that I wear a lot, but in the interest of doing something different, since we're doing red, or since we're doing orange, sorry, what I thought could be fun was this like carrot top red. Look at how it's affecting the color. It's still got, I wore this for the fundraiser and it's still got the green like hairpiece and netting on it. Let me see if I can easily extract the netting. Because the flower, there we go. There we go. Love that. It was very cute. And it would look good with this look, but we want pictures and we want it to look. This is fun. I love this sort of like, it's kind of like an amped up Marilyn style. Like it's kind of like a Marilyn style, but like bigger and draggier. And I love that it kind of gives it this like vintage, but orange. Yeah, so this is the look. Let me grab a clean little sponge because I do need to add a little bit of Now I've got the dress on and know where the neckline goes to. I can rub out a quick, because I'll put a necklace on, so this doesn't have to be perfect, but just get us a little bit of and because I'm not looking to be here all night recording TikToks, I probably won't do a lot of contour underneath. Hello, China. How are you doing? My fabulous makeup bestie. How are you doing? I am finishing up by putting a little bit of neck and chest makeup on with this look that we did for Wacky Wednesday. So if this is your first Wacky Wednesday, just know that every Wednesday in July, we are doing a new colorful foundation look. So if you go to my live tab, last week was the first one and we did green because green is my favorite color. This week, obviously, we did orange. Next week is going to be red. The week after that is going to be metallic gold. With maybe some other metallic colors mixed in, but for sure we'll do some metallic gold because the first colorful foundation look that I did on my channel was my yellow foundation. And I haven't checked the stats for a little while, but I'm pretty sure it is still the most viewed video on my channel. And so I thought, you know what, for Wacky Wednesday, it could be a fun riff on that, not to do yellow again, but to do metallic gold. Do kind of a metallic version of that yellow look that we did. So here we go. Now we have a little bit of, again, it's not really that imperative that the neck foundation look perfect. Just so long as, because then like I also have to hide my hands when I do the TikToks and stuff because it's like, and I've done hand makeup before. When I did that Ms. Pac-Man shoot, I had little gloves on, but I still had to do hand makeup on my fingers, the ends of my fingers. And it was a mess. It was such a mess. Love the look. Thank you, Janet. Good. Just got home from getting food. Did you get the new version of the dollhouse? That's another one that I haven't bought. I was saying earlier about how I've been trying to be good because I have my big photo shoot trip. So I'm like trying to not spend a bunch of money. And so I haven't ordered the new version of the Blend Bunny dollhouse palette. I haven't ordered the Summer Ween from Gourmand Girls. And I haven't ordered, well, I won't order tomorrow when it comes out, the Trixie Cosmetics. So I feel like I'm exercising a lot of restraint. I mean, my bank account is also exercising that restraint because it's like, bitch, do you like having lights? Maybe you should calm it down. So there's a little bit of that action going on, but I have restrained. But obviously, it's Blend Bunny. It's going to make it into my collection eventually, but it's just going to have to wait for a hot second. Let me grab maybe just another one of those sponges, actually. Where did I put the sponges? And let's do, oh, no, there's a puff in here. Let's, instead of doing contour, let's set the neck. Thank you, Mama Champagne. I know the bank account being all serious and make us like pay attention to shit like that's rude. It's rude. I'm going to do this setting powder because I find that this sometimes kind of darkens it a little bit. It did with the green. So I'm hoping that this will maybe be a little bit of a neck contour situation just by putting a little bit of the setting powder. We shall see. And then we can take it out down onto the chest a little bit. It does seem to darken it a little bit. It's not looking, it's looking a little patchy, but I mean, I am kind of having to fight around this dress and wig and everything, so I'm not, pretty girl. I'm not being the most. I'm not doing it the right way. I'm doing it the fast way. So there's that. Well, thank you, Tina. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think this turned out pretty good. I like this for orange. It's very, you know, it's very carrot top, except I'm the whole carrot. I'm the whole carrot. 24 karat. Except with garden carrots. There we go. So we've got a little bit. I do like that. It does give it a little bit of like a depth to it that I think works in place of a contour. It's just a subtle little something. So let me put that poof back into there. Lovely. I am having fun with these colorful looks. I hope you are enjoying it as well. I loved, have you guys, I think we talked about hacks. I don't know if it was the last live or the one before, but we talked a little bit about hacks. I love the scene where Deborah plays the prank on Carrot Top and like comes to get his like fountain removed or something, and she's there in like a forklift and ends up driving over something. Just I love that show Hacks. It's so good. It's so good. Okay. Come on. Since we're going a little bit Halloween-y, I thought that this like purple and green creepy font Janessa necklace might be the right move for this, but All right, what do we think? This is Wacky Wednesday. This is our orange look. I am loving it. Gourmand Girls was the perfect one. I forget who suggested it. I don't remember if that was Dawn or Nina. I feel like it was one of you two that suggested we go with the Gourmand Girls, and you were absolutely right. I love the way this turned out. I'm loving this carrot top hair with it. I love this leopard dress has been starring in all the videos lately too. I'm loving it. That I got from my aunt. She cleared out some Betsy Johnson dresses from her collection, and I was lucky enough to be the size that she used to wear. So she sent them off to me, and now I have beautiful Betsy dresses. But yeah. Thank you, everybody. We've gone a little bit over. Was it Nina? Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming to this fabulous. I do too. I was originally thinking about doing like a purple look with this, but I love the way that this peach and green came out. So I think that was the right way to go. But I love the purple. Looks so fun. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming to Wacky Wednesday. Don't forget to come back next week if you want to see a red look. We'll get a little bit devilish. I've got a wig that's very similar to this, but it's in like a deep red, like a wine red. So maybe we'll do a similar hairstyle in a darker color. We'll do a red look for next time. And yeah, so we'll play around with some different ways of doing colorful foundation. So every Wednesday, this is the second one. We'll be back next week with red. The week after that will be metallic gold, and then a pastel ombre for the last Wednesday of July. So definitely come and check those out. We have so much fun. Thank you so much. Let me see if I can remember my outro. Don't forget to thumbs up the live. We'll talk about that in a second because we're getting into the outro. So if you are here in live chat, I would love it if you would circle back around once this becomes a video and leave a comment down below. Help me feed the beast. Help me feed that algorithm. And go ahead. If you enjoyed this video while you're down there, don't forget to give me that thumbs up. And if you are like, girl, what are you doing here with that peach face, that orange face, and boring unpainted hands? Commit to the bit, then go ahead and give me that thumbs down. It is all engagement. The algorithm isn't a picky bitch, and neither am I. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you'll find out every time I go live or have a new video. I try really hard to have at least one video or live per week, and I often go live several times a week. And sometimes, if you're lucky, if you're very lucky, you might even get a bonus video. Ooh, tang-erific. If you'd like to chat, banter, or commiserate between uploads, all of my social media will be linked down in the description box below, including a link to my website. Just pretend it's there, The World of Champagne at janessaj.com. Thank you so much for watching. I love and appreciate all of you. Thank you for saying goodbye. There's going to be new videos coming. I'm very excited. If you haven't watched my most recent video, it is the Get Ratchet With Me using Trixie Air. If you want to see how I struggled a little bit, then definitely check that out. Would loved. What's your thoughts on Clario murdering Peppa Pig? Have no idea what you're talking about. We're just about to wrap up, so thank you everybody for stopping by. You look like you're wearing white gloves. I know it does look like I'm wearing gloves. Thank you so much for watching. I love and appreciate all of you, and until I see you again, bye. And now the awkward ending of the stream. Where is it? There we go. There we go. Okay, bye. How long are we here?